Creamer's Field Migratory Waterfowl Refuge encompasses approximately 1,800 acres of state-owned land in the heart of the Fairbanks community. It has attracted sandhill cranes for as long as anyone can remember. In spring, the cranes migrate from the southern edge of North America to nest in Arctic and subarctic regions of Alaska. More than 2,500 cranes visit Creamer's Field each summer. Some nest in nearby wetlands, while others use it as a stopover on their journey to the Arctic coast. Cranes are ancient birds. Skeletons dating from 3 million years ago are indistinguishable from those found today. They have used the same migratory routes for millions of years. Elementary, middle, and high school students from the Fairbanks area have the opportunity to conduct field studies at the refuge throughout the year. Led by wildlife biologists like John Wright, students learn about bird migration, local ecology, wildlife identification, and other topics that they study in school. Cranes are not the only birds that visit Creamer's Field. Several varieties of geese are frequent visitors, along with ducks, falcons, eagles, and over 60 species of songbirds. And of course, we share the refuge with a variety of four-legged animals as well. Cranes are captured so that they can be studied by biologists. Large nets are used to capture the cranes. Grain is laid out as bait, and the nets are positioned so that rockets can shoot the net over the birds as they feed. Before the net can be deployed, the cranes must all be feeding with their heads down. This prevents injury to the cranes and makes them less likely to react quickly to the sound of the rockets going off. They must also be out of range of the net's leading edge. The heavy rope at the edge could injure the cranes if it hit them. It can take a long time for the conditions to be just right. Sometimes the net cannot be deployed because there are other birds, such as these Canada geese, that would be captured in addition to the cranes. And sometimes the cranes just aren't interested in the bait. The biologists wait for just the right moment.
Okay, now. Okay, Dave, they're in the box. Go! Go.
Here are some additional captures. As soon as the nets are deployed, the biologists rush into action. The cranes must be handled carefully and quickly to avoid injury and stress. Cranes are very aggressive birds and will fight with their bills and claws when trapped. It is important to restrain them so they don't injure themselves or their handlers.
Really don't.
If too many cranes are caught for efficient study, some are released immediately.
Come on. Out.
The birds that are kept for study must be restrained to prevent injury and stress. First, a hood is placed over the crane's head so that it can't see. This helps calm the bird down. Their legs are taped together with masking tape so that they can't run away or cause injury with their claws.
Put them in the bag. Reach your hand through the hole and grab this.
Finally, the cranes are placed in a sack that prevents them from flying away or flapping their wings. Once the birds are restrained, they calm down and there is little chance for stress or injury. Cranes can act aggressively toward each other, so it's important for the biologists to keep the birds separate and immobile while they are waiting for hoods and sacks to be applied.
There are no more hoods?
No more hoods.
How many birds do you have?
Somebody must have some in their hand. 5, 6. They have a hood
Having a
over there.
lot of volunteers helps to make sure that the birds can be studied and released as quickly as possible.
Cover his eyes and then
Once all of the cranes have been restrained, the students can come closer to watch the birds being studied.
usually pretty quiet. They're with their eyes covered. They're usually real docile and
You can see if you can identify which bird is the juvenile. The juvenile crane, when it was born, it was about 3 inches tall, but in about 55 days, it's grown to be 3 feet tall.
Two kinds of bands are used to identify the cranes. The small aluminum band has a unique number that allows access to information about where and when the bird was captured. Biologists use pliers to attach the band to the bird's leg.
Keeps the grand finale there, that's right.
This is the last one.
A second yellow band is attached with glue. It has large letters and numbers that can be seen from far away with binoculars.
Oops. Oh. Wow. Well, let it go.
About and injure themselves or the biologists that are collecting the data. They're very powerful birds with long necks and long legs, and that spear-like beak could do some damage if they could wield it around.
4 of the birds captured at Creamer's Field this fall were fitted with satellite transmitters. This transmitter allows the biologists to track the crane's movement around Fairbanks and along its migratory route. Not much is known about where the birds go during their stay in Alaska's interior, so this will help scientists learn more.
My hands aren't big enough.
You taking blood?
This bird now.
Just on that one side. Yeah. Actually.
You sure you can fly with all that stuff on?
Yeah, the other 2 are still running around. Or flying around.
If you look closely, you can see the satellite transmitter on this crane.
Small rodents. Small rodents like voles and mice.
Biologists use calipers to measure the length of the crane's bill. This is often used to estimate age and determine sex.
No, just make sure that it gets recorded.
95.4.
I'm gonna keep the sequence.
Backpack harness you can sew together with cotton thread and assume the cotton will rot in
K20.
a year or 2. 98.6 for the overall culmin. This guy's ready to go. Isn't that everything for this guy?
Blood.
Oh, we haven't done blood. Okay. Doing it to the red, but that's variable too. 90.9, 90.9.
You want to put any betadine on this shoulder?
Some of
Some
these guys can't really get it soggy inside here a little bit. To the corner.
The crane's legs are measured to help determine age and gender.
12.
Yeah, I'm scaring you, huh?
Yeah.
No, that's
No,
right.
that's.
That's right.
Yep.
Then the birds are weighed. A typical adult crane weighs about 4 kilograms, or about 9 pounds.
4.8.
Oh, fatty.
That's as far west as they go.
Then why don't we come over here? You're awesome.
It's the first time we've
They aren't as slippery as what Francis were.
Right. They don't
Finally, a blood sample is taken from each bird. The biologists use this sample to tell if the bird is male or female. Blood samples also help determine genetic stocks.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Okay. Jen, are you writing numbers down on
Yes,
the
I am.
tubes? Thanks.
Well, I got it written down too.
Okay. The K number?
Yeah. Could you smoke the mosquito on the corner?
Once the birds have been studied, they can be released. This must be done very carefully to avoid injury to the crane. Before they are released, cranes are held immobile for a few minutes to relieve stress and to make sure that any bleeding from the sampling has been stopped.
Wait, hang on.
Any injuries that may have occurred are treated with antiseptics to avoid infection. Some birds act very aggressively toward their handlers when they're released. Others just want to get away as quickly as possible. Sometimes it takes a while for the bird to get over the shock of being captured.
I know you don't want to challenge me. I know you're a big bird, but you're not that big. Go. We're letting you go. Go. Is your wing okay? Okay, there you go. Go ahead. Turn around. Okay, fine. I'll go first. Then you can go.
You're okay.
You like the pictures, huh? Very photogenic little bird. Come on. Go.
The information gathered from these cranes will help biologists understand the birds and help them in the future.